back to the up and down matches. Life finds himself 0-2 in the group now, taking 2 losses. Bjorn doing some serious damage there in the early game, and Life not able to keep up. Here are our standings.
Yeah, it's known that Life will always find a way, but I'm not quite sure if that will be true today. He looks at a really dire situation right now. He has to go up against Bang later on, and then also against Hero. If he doesn't win those 2 games, then I'm very much afraid that we are having him in the Challenger League next season, and it looks really much like it.
Yeah, it seems pretty likely.
Bjorn with a really good performance here, takes with an early aggression build the win against Life and finds himself now in a 1-0 position. And our next game today is, of course, the 2 Casper players here. We have Sue up against Hero.
Sue against Hero here, and the map is Belcher Vestige. Both of these players took their first map. Both Casper players, and whoever wins this one looks very strong, very likely to take the group, since they're both... well, you know, I would say Sue and Life were considered to be the strongest players in the group, but so far Hero is kind of changing that, taking his match, and Life did not. So we'll see. Whoever gets this one, very likely to get out of the group. Not certain, though.
Yeah, Life didn't take a single match just yet, and, well, if he continues on the road, he will pull a little bit of a flying here. So let's see if he can change it later on. We just saw him downstairs in the backstage area, and he actually looked like completely unfazed, which is, of course, the usual.
Yeah. Doesn't get down easily. Well, here we go. Protoss versus Zerg. Hero versus Sue on Belcher Vestige. This is the WCS Up and Downs with Calvin and Wolf.
Starting to the bottom right of Belcher Vestige, we have the Protoss player with a 1-0 in the group so far. This is...
CJN2's Hero.
Hero winning his first game today, taking the victory against Bang. Now going up against the Zerg player to the top left in red. We have...
SK Telecom T1 Sue.
9 pool from Sue. It's a very tricky build here.
Actually pretty cool. I haven't seen a 9 pull against the Protoss player in quite a long time, and the build that we see here for the Protoss is actually a Forge build. So a 9 pool can really arrive at your opponent's base just in time. The problem is that what Sue has, or what Hero has to do right now, is drop the Forge and also a pylon. Make sure that he gets just both, so that he gets the cannon ups in his base.
Oh, he messes around with the minerals until he's a little bit before he sees the pool. And now, of course, knows exactly what's going on. So we'll have to do exactly what you said. He needs the Forge and he needs the pylon on the main base. You know, I really like the 9 pool against the Forge build. It's really good for the Zerg because it's an economic early pool that allows you to do a lot of harassment, really mess up the Protoss' build, and then catch up yourself.
I'm just a little bit surprised to see on a map like Belcher Vestige. That's usually something that you would see on bigger maps, because then the chances are pretty high that the Protoss player is not going to scout you in the first position. Gives you a bit of a higher success rate. Sue himself has, by the way, a really shaky win ratio in this matchup. With 17 maps played, he is 7-10. And that leaves him with 41% win ratio. So not really the best ZVP player, but in general in Korea, Protoss is currently very dominant against Zerg. They have 60% win ratio. That's Korean statistics for the last, I think, 1 or 2 months. So that matchup, in Korea at least, Protoss player being dominant force. But here we have also at the front now the attempted complete wall off, and there might be a force cancel, but I do not think that he will be able to break through here.
Yeah, actually, he does not go for the pylon on the main. He's just going to go all the way here with this. Since there's only 4 lings, it looks like he's not even going to force the cancel. It'll be a voluntary cancel as the lings run away. And even only 3 at the wall here, so kind of a sneaky idea here by Sue, but it definitely delays the Nexus. As you can see, the gateway going up much faster.
That's also the idea here. I mean, if you go for this build and you see the scout in your main base, then overcommitting to Zerglings, that's something that you do not want to do. But you can just build a few Zerglings, pressure your opponent, make sure that he has to invest all the minerals into his wall. It screws up his build. He has to delay his Nexus quite significantly. You get your own base up at the same time. Question if that's really worth it. That's a very arguable point. You ask like 10 Zerg players and you will probably get 5 different answers. But at this point in time, we have now the expansion for Sue being built, for Hero as well. And let's just see where exactly Sue takes it from here now.
Yeah, core here. And one thing you do get as a pros with this is slightly faster tech, slightly faster Cybernetics core. But you can't really make use of it much faster because your gas is also a little bit delayed. So kind of balances out in that way. But Sue's hatchery is also delayed by this too. And again, a very, very aggressive probe scout from here. He lost his first one, but he sends another one over. He just wants to know, hey, Sue, are you taking a third right now? How fast is your third? Because as it is, of course, Sue with the faster pool can't add his hatchery as fast as he would like to at the third. He wants to know when that third base is going up, if at all.
Yeah, that's a big issue, because usually you would have the third around 4 minutes, and we are already 5:30 into the game. So I'm really interested to see if we see a third base right now, or if he just goes into, well, he gets at least the speed for the Zerglings. He could also just attempt to just go into a fast attack, but we see the drone now moving to the right side, and that base is so unbelievably late.
Unbelievably late, you know, and he doesn't go into a Roach Ling push or anything like that. He's pulled completely out of gas, as you can see at the top right with the resources. The base goes down at 6:10. That's extremely late, about 2 minutes later than you would expect. And it's robotics play that we see from Hero. I wonder if he's going to go for a sentry drop or if he wants to go Immortals here.
We've seen a lot of players opening up with the Warp Prism against if they get the +1 attack upgrade, which we currently see. Something that they could do, but you have, of course, a couple of options if you go into robotics. Immortals are always one option that you have, trying to get those out, and you're heading straight into Colossus as well. But yeah, we're gonna find out in just a second. Double gas has already been taken, so it looks very tech heavy what we see, and that's the Warp Prism, as already suggested.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to do a sentry drop, or at the very least just kind of be pressuring with Zealots at the third base. Sentry drop much more likely, and there are the 3 additional gates being added. And this Zealot actually can't. Oh, poor targeting here. Actually, could have killed more of the Lings. Sue microing decently as well. His speed is done now. It's all about whether he sees the Warp Prism or not, because if he sees it, it's super easy for him to just keep his Lings where they need to be. But if he doesn't see it and his Lings are out of position, this could be a ton of damage done.
I don't even know if he's going to aim for the main base. A lot of Protoss players actually forego the main and just go straight to the third base. But it actually looks like he really wants to go for it. The problem is, of course, that he heads right into not only the Zerglings, but also then the Selnar Watchtower range. And that actually lets me to believe that he did not really think that will work anyways, because why would you go into the Zalnaga Watchtower range of your own tower if not checking it before?
But you know what? Sue doesn't have his units in the main. Now he goes in at the last second. This is going to do nothing. In fact, if he drops those sentries out, I'll be shocked. He needs to just fly away.
Yeah, he just scares him a little bit, and he gets the Immortals behind, and he gets the Mothership Core too. So this is a little bit more about just scaring the opponent and preparing everything for the second wave. Because you can really see that at this point, it doesn't even look like he's gonna tell. There's the third base after all.
Yep, third base going down. You know, I like this play, but I don't know how effective it really is. It seems intentional that he wanted to scare Sue here, because he flew right through both of the watchtowers, and then even added a Phoenix like he was trying to pretend like he was checking for Overlords to see while he was flying through the watchtowers. And he has to know, of course, the watchtowers were taken. So I think it was just a fake pressure play here.
Huh. We have actually 18 additional Zerglings being built for Sue. I'm not quite sure if he really tries to take down the third base, because I think that's very, very unlikely to happen. A transition into Spire now for the Zerg player. I don't know how much I like this. Usually when you see these games being played on a map like this, one of the dominant forces in the beginning is Lings and a transition into Hydralisk. If you want to hit a timing, you have either this composition or you go into Roaches. Then in the later game, we have a lot of transitions happening, but against what we currently see from Hero, it's going to be really difficult for Sue to make that happen, especially since with the Phoenix hallucinations, you are bound to be, like, your tech is going to be revealed.
But you know, this third base over here, I'm not so sure if he holds this one against this many Zerglings, even though he has a wall here and the overcharge. Well, the sentries come down.
He will. With the rest of the units, the photon overcharge, the cannon, there's just no way to take it down with Lings alone. You need more than that.
Yeah, he had those sentries over there. The sentries alone are going to be able to protect that.
And that's what I was just talking about earlier. The only thing that Hero has to do is drop a couple of additional cannons. I actually would really like him to do that, because he goes into Blink, and that's of course great, because he will have the Stalkers with Blink, he can react to the Mutalisks, but if you just have a cannon in a couple of positions, that's really, really nice for you, so you can just buy yourself some time. What I also don't like is actually the placement of his gateways here.
Yeah,
because
he could definitely be using them better.
The gateways are all set up at the ramp, and if he has to defend like the natural and the main base, all those sentries and everything else will walk into the gateways and has to walk around those. That gives the Mutalisk a little bit more of aggression. Yeah. Maybe the idea is to set up a second wall besides the first one, But if you protect the first one, you should be fine. But those are an obstacle that the Protoss units will have to overcome later on.
Well, the Protoss units want to attack before the Muse are out. He already saw the Spire. He knows that Mulas are the tech of choice, and he's going to force the Muse to come to him rather than, of course, just turning around. He's got the wall set up here. He's going to need more than that, though. That Zealot is not long for this world with the Mulas there. He needs a lot more than this, and he doesn't have any cannons like you were talking about. But the Protoss army is already at the natural.
He should get cannons at the third.
Yeah, he needs to make like 8 cannons over there.
If he gets cannons at the third, he has a really good position to take the game. The problem really being, I don't know why Hero thinks he's forced into this aggression. I do not think, I don't understand why he feels like he's forced into this the space race, because we have more bases up to the left, to the right side of the map. And Hero has a really good army on the map, but Su suddenly is in a position where he can actually take this game, and up to this point he was far behind.
Forge is gone. That means no more cannons. And, you know, I like Su's position a lot because he has those bases, he has the more mobile army.
Oh, definitely.
And he's just going to run circles around Hero. I mean, quite literally, he has 15 Muse versus 18 Stalkers. If the Stalkers aren't perfectly all together all the time, the Muse with the Zergling support can easily beat that.
Exactly, and he's trying to go for the elimination race, and I don't think he had to do that. It's really surprising, since Protoss players usually hate to play that style. They really, really don't like it. They want to stay and just have a straight-up fight, and with 3 bases, a good economy, the upgrades, well, he had such a good position. I don't know why Hero actually went for this.
Well, let's watch and see what happens, because, I mean, Hero's army is looking, you know, better now, but he still doesn't have the mobility. He brought his probes with him. He has 12 left. And he could still take this game for sure. It's not going to be easy though. He has a little bit more mining. He has nearly 1,000 resources before his base gets taken out. He also has the Mothership Core, which he could have used to recall, but obviously it's not going to work out in this case. The last of the probes on the retreat, they're all killed here. So army supply right now, of course, 75 versus 52, and
he has a good bank, and he can build Nexi, and he needs those, because relying on a single pylon is not going to work. The Mutalisk could even suicide into the pylon. And there's an additional hatch that he builds. God knows why he doesn't build that at the mineral line, because, well, he needs some income at some point.
Yeah, you know, but I think actually because of the situation that we're in right now, Hero needs to get towards a Nexus, because if he's not building at near a base he can mine at, yeah, he can turtle, but he needs a turtle on top of mining. He can't just turtle on top of a Nexus, because eventually Su will get mining and beat him here. Nicely done keeping the probes on the Warp Prism, protecting them there, because right now he only has 5 of them. And where is the 5th one, I wonder? Oh, you know, I almost wonder if he could have committed a little bit more to taking out another Stalker there.
I feel he could, but look, we don't even have all of the bases revealed for the Protoss player. He doesn't know about the one to the right, I feel. So now the pylon is probably going to be taken. He needs to fight here. At some point, Su has to fight a battle, and he has to pick which one he wants to fight. Oh, look at all those the Zerglings. They can get into the main. The thing is, as soon as they're in the main, they're also trapped.
There's one more pylon left, Color. That's it. If he kills it, it's over.
He has 1,000 minerals. He should be able to drop another building.
He needs to. His probes are all in the Warp Prism, though.
And there we go, he's losing everything in the main base.
He needs to blink the Stalkers out.
Yeah.
Loses the Immortal.
Needs to blink them out, but also the Zerglings have to get away. We have another base
pylon
at the bottom right. There's another one being built. He has 1,000 minerals. There's no way. Like, that would be the biggest throw ever.
Oh, we've seen it before, man.
And he's actually losing it, isn't he?
Nexus goes down. Oh my god. That was like milliseconds we're talking about here.
Oh, yeah, he is playing this a little bit too close.
Well, that last hatchery over there at the right side is found. The one at the bottom right is not found just yet. There is a sentry down there, however, that could find it.
Army supply is 63 against 45. That base to the bottom right is still alive. The sentry is going to spot it. It's already heading.
He wants to kill that drone. He gets it. Nice. Right now the worker count is 0 for Su. He can't make anything unless he makes an Overlord at his base to the bottom right, which is going to be very reluctant to do.
Well, he actually should get it. There's no reason to not get the Overlord right now.
Yeah, actually you're right, because otherwise you can't build anything, so he should actually make that.
I mean, what else are you going to build?
Yeah. Okay, so last of the extractors are gone.
This is such a crazy game. This is just a little bit silly. I feel right now the Protoss should be able to take that. I just feel like you could have played a straight up game, but okay, with the Mutalisk here going down, that should be it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way you can kill this base anymore. Eventually the sentries with hallucinations will find the base. They'll send a few units over. Actually, he just found it with a hallucination at the bottom right. He sees it, and that's actually going to be game, because there can be no longer any more hatcheries. And actually what will happen here is Hero will probably turtle until Su eventually runs away, because he can't even rebuild drones. There's a way for him to make one drone, but it's just... He's probably just going to attack into this Nexus and then lose the game.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the bank that Hero has also. He's got a much better one.
He takes a huge risk with their build, but with the strategy they went for, but it's actually going to work out for him.
I'm actually really surprised it works. With the mobile army that Su had, he just didn't have a big enough one.
He didn't have enough Mutalisks. He had only 14, and 14 is not really the number that you want to rely upon. He would have loved to just get additional ones out until he was waiting for that, but the Spire placement at the natural was taken out so early that he couldn't just dump his additional resources in the Mutalisk. Just think about those 600 gas that you currently see on the production tab. Think about those 6 additional Mutalisks. 20 would already have been so much more.
He takes out the Phoenix because he doesn't want him to know this is an Overlord.
He builds the Overlord.
Yeah, there's the Overlord. Now he can make 3 drones. Starts 1 at a time. He's being very careful here. It actually goes into all 3.
Okay, I cannot believe that this is going to be... I mean, someone has to attack at some point. You can't really just go and start mining from 2 mineral patches right now with 1 drone.
Well, the probes are actually having enough resources now that the creep's cleared up to start a real nexus.
It looks like he just wants to hide another extractor.
This is never going to work. He's going to slowly lose this game. There's no way Hero can lose. There's basically no way. He can almost leave half of his stalkers at this point.
We have long distance mining right now, Wolf.
Yeah, long distance mining for both players, but that nexus is going to be completed soon.
What is that drone doing? Like, we have 3 drones now.
Picks off another Muta.
9 Mutalisks. The more and by now he also knows that he can just use those stalkers to move across the map a little bit more.
Oh, but he loses them here.
No, he's blinking away. Then
well,
he
actually,
might lose him if he doesn't get the rest of his units.
Yeah, I think he's going to lose all of them.
No, there's going to be... Oh, Warp Prism, hi. Why did he load in?
Well, you know, that was a small step for Su. And now the Mutas come in here. No way he gets this Nexus.
Why did he not load into the Warp Prism? I don't get that. I really thought, alright, he's going to lose 2, 3, but the Warp Prism is going to load the rest of them up. Huh.
Well, I mean... He's still in the better place here, and he's trying to hunt down these mutas. The hallucinations he keeps using and making it a lot easier, even has an observer to the right side.
It has 5 drones by now. Oh god, I swear, if Su wins that game, that would be hilarious.
I'm getting stressed out because I think it might be possible. Like, I didn't think before.
I think that's super funny, actually.
He has to be so careful, he has to be so slow at getting the pylons up because he's really, really supply blocked right now.
The funniest thing to me is that he still has that 1 drone to the left side of the map because he wants to build an extractor if need be.
Yeah.
That is like the best thing about it. He has 6 harvesters against 2. He has the better mining. He has more income. he's actually doing it.
You know, he is actually... This is so smart what Hero is doing. He's gonna go for the kill.
Yeah, but where are those lings? Why not? Those lings are not down on the map, and he doesn't...
He finds the drone.
He doesn't see it, and the drone is found. Okay.
He's dead. He cannot kill the base faster. He's going to try for it, though. The Lings and the Mutas versus the Hatchery.
No,
with the Immortal there, there's no way. There's no way. He can also make another pylon, and he starts it. GG.
This is it. Hero takes it. Bit of a silly game, but funny.
That's my favorite type of game to cast, actually. I love those types of situations.
Yeah, but usually, like... That game was over, like, for a long time. That game could only have been lost by Hero, but not won by Su.
Yeah.
So the type of game is really cool when it's, like, very close, but in this, it looked closer than it actually was. The only player who could have lost the game was Hero. If he would have made a huge throw, then he would have lost the game. But with,
we've
like,
seen it before.
Of course we've seen it before, but still. That's 1 out of 10 games.
I wouldn't even say... I would say even less than that. But still, you know, it's exciting.
Who was running up against Hiva that game?
Yeah.
That was one of those games.
That was one of those games.
The massive throw that happens like every now and then.
And that's why Su stays in the game. But as it is, Hero takes the 2-0 in the group. He's now in first place, and Su finds himself at 1-1. Only one of them could have advanced that way, though.
I would have just, you know, for Su this is actually like a little bit annoying. Like, Hero goes for the one thing that Su was really confident in, like for the base race, and the only thing that he wants are more Mutalisks. If he gets more Mutalisks into that game, he can take it. But then his Spire gets taken out because it's at the natural, not in the main base or anywhere else, so he can't build any more additional Mutalisks. He has those bases to the left and the right, but that game, if he gets the gas into Mutalisks, those 6 additional Mutalisks, then he can actually win that.
Yeah, it's funny how one thing like your Spire being at the natural can actually affect the game so much like this.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, because it can affect the game the other way where it gets scouted too fast because it's in the main, so there's just, you know, you have to take risks like this. Bjorn versus Bang, our Terran versus Terran of the night. I'm looking forward to see what Bjorn shows us here. on Akalon, I can almost see him go mech. And Bang, I have no idea what he's going to do. I think he could just try to do an early push. He might even go for Banshees. He's going to be the aggressor, I feel, and Beyond is going to be the guy waiting for the mid-game, whether it's through mech or through just strong bio play.
Beyond is definitely the better TVT player, I feel. He has a really good record in TVT, and I think that's something where Bang has to catch up to. So for me, this is one of those games where Bang is either going to try to make something happen in the early game, or will slowly be killed in the mid and late game, in my opinion. I mean, he played a really solid game against Hero, so Bang showed us that he can really play those styles. But Byan is he's so solid in this matchup. We don't have too much. Well, we're jumping into the game right now, guys. It's a TVT. We are gonna head on Akalon, and we'll be there in just a second with our Terran vs Terran of the day, the up and down matches in Group B. Starting to the top left.